Tell us a little bit about what the Texas Center is.
Well, the Texas Center is addressing essentially Texas past, that's the history part, Texas present, kind of what we're doing now, and then preparing for the future.
Okay.
You know, one of the things that's coming up is Texas is going to double its population in the next few decades. And all you have to do is drive around the hill country and get stuck behind a couple of dump trucks and a cement truck, and you figure out that somebody somewhere is moving.
Right.
And so we're going to just boom in terms of population, but that's also going to reposition Texas as the most populous and most important state in the union.
Right.
So California will have its lip stuck out in just a few decades. Because Texas is going to be where it's going on.
They'll be all here in Texas.
And the Californians that are coming to Texas by and large seem to be political refugees. So that's kind of an interesting phenomena too. But somehow we have to get our arms around this sort of shift and prepare for this shift while also maintaining everything about Texas that is attracting all these people coming here. I'm calling it cultural sustainability.
Yeah.
You know, you think about cultural resource management and resource sustainability. Culture also needs to be sustained.
Protected.
Yeah, it's got to be protected and encouraged to flourish. But at the same time, you know, the third most spoken language in Texas, besides Spanish and English, is Vietnamese.
Yeah.
So how do you?
I did not know that.
Yeah, and after that it's Mandarin, and after that it's Tagalog.
Yeah.
So 3 Asian languages come right in behind English and Spanish. And so how do you take that kid who's the grandchild of, say, some Vietnamese refugees that landed in Texas after a harrowing, trip from South Vietnam, maybe got into the shrimping business or something like that? How do you take their grandchild and make the Alamo relevant to them?
Right.
And pretty soon you figure out, well, you know, the things that we talk about in Texas, the grit, that sort of idealism, that sort of expression of the American experience that we do so well here, that is really what unifies Texans.
Yeah.
As opposed to, well, my great-great-grandpappy, you know, Silas Corncob was pointing a gun over this wall.
Yeah.
That's not, I mean, that's a cool part of it, but that's not what's going to resonate with the people that are moving to Texas.
Right.
I'm amazed at how many Texans there are worldwide that just don't realize it yet.
Right.
Because there's so much about that Texas experience that speaks to the human condition and speaks to human flourishing.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're doing at the Texas Center. So that's all the highbrow stuff.
Gotcha.
You know, wow.
Well, you know, though, Don, not just the cultural sustainability of those coming here.
Yeah.
But with stopping Texas history in middle school and elementary school, we're losing the cultural sustainability of Texans.
Well, it's natives and newcomers alike. That's our audience.
Well, you stop the teaching of those things, and it's not long before it just becomes a memory. Right. You know, the public is invited to come out and see the Texas Center too. Right?
Sure, and really,
what's inside there? What do we see when we come into the center?
Well, we've got some really cool artifacts that we essentially use to highlight the mission of the Texas Center.
Yeah.
But we're really more of a think tank, so we're not a museum.
I got you.
But we have a really cool arrowhead, collection. We've got some nice art. We've got some really cool maps.
Yeah.
But the magic of the Texas Center is happening out there in Cyberland, land. And we've got a YouTube channel.
All right.
I've got an entire suite of Texas history that's going up even as we speak. So essentially the way that what we're looking at is really a short game and a long game.
Right.
So the short game is we just need to keep talking Texas everywhere we can.
Right.
And we're able to do that in a lot of different venues. I'm working with the 1836 Commission over in the Capitol, along with the TEA, which is all about education. And education is really the long game.
Right.
So if you want to talk about essentially terraforming the Texas mind, that's kind of that 30-year goal.
Yeah.
And it's going to take a while to address trends right now. There are trends out there in the big wide world that are trying to talk down anything that smacks of Texas exceptionalism.
Right.
And so you ask yourself, well, why would anybody take a swing at the Alamo or the Texas Rangers, both of which happened last summer with two different books? And the reason being is it's not really about Texas history in those conversations. It's about the Texas future.
Yeah.
And because Texas is going to be the most important state in the country, there's a lot of people wanting to make sure that the state is in their camp.
A little bit.
Y'all are not as special as you think you are. And okay, that's fine, and y'all can make those arguments, but the attempt that they're making is essentially to knock out the underpinnings that has really built that Texas identity.
Right.
And if you can knock those underpinnings out, then you can remake it in your image.
Well, and everybody's fighting for the same businesses to come to their states.
Oh, absolutely.
And stuff like that. So there's an alternative motive.
There's an economic motive.
Yeah.
There's a political motive.
Right.
I mean, is it going to be red? Is it going to be blue? Is it going to be purple?
Yeah.
And so that's essentially the stakes are getting really they're getting raised.
Yeah.
And as a result, there's going to be a lot more bare knuckle fighting going on in the future. So we're really talking about being the honest broker in a bunch of these conversations.
I got you.
I'm not trying to be partisan one way or the other. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody, when they talk about a historical incident, they actually back it up with evidence and, sound interpretation.
Yeah.
Strange things like that.
That's odd that you can find that on the internet,
On the interweb. I read it on the interweb.
Not a video you saw on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And so somebody's got to be the grown up in the room amongst all these, pie fights.
Right.
And so that's kind of what we're trying to do.
It's a very, very important thing to not only as an adult learn about these things, but pass that knowledge along to your kiddos,
Well, a bunch of the folks that are coming to Texas from all over the country and all over the world, they don't have that background.
Right.
They didn't have 7th grade Texas history class.
Yep.
So when I first came down to Schreiner, for last quarter of a century, I was a classroom instructor. I was a college professor with all of that means. And Charlie McCormick there at Schreiner said, all right, now you're not coming down here as faculty, you're going to be part of the administrative staff of this school. And I was like, oh man, I'm slipping into the dark side here.
Yeah.
And he said, look, just think of it this way. In the old days, you used to have classroom of 30, 18 to 21-year-olds.
Right.
So now your classroom is 254 counties and 30 million pupils.
There you go.
Go to work.
Get after it. You don't have time for a tour of campus.
That's exactly right. Stay away from Toby. He'll distract you.
Yeah, he's going to make you do all this other stuff. Dr. Frazier, thank you so much, man, and thank you for keeping the history of our state alive. I'm a proud Texan, man, and so I'm glad that is going on, and there's a mission and foresight to keep that history going here in our beautiful state. So reach out, find out more about the Texas Center. The way that you can do that, just go to the YouTube channel and start checking out the videos, and then watch Schreiner.edu. Their website, and anything, events that come up, they'll list them on there, and we invite you to come out and learn more about the state that you're currently living in or visiting here. There's a reason that we have Texas Pride, and you can learn why just by checking out the YouTube Center and the Texas Center at Schreiner University. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Appreciate you.